Hey guys, welcome back to Simply Handmade. Today I'll be showing you how I made this dog bowl stand along with some fails that almost made me throw this whole project away. I'll also be sharing Ted's new diet, all thanks to our friends over at Ali, who is the sponsor of today's video. The first thing I did was set my miter saw to 3/4 of an inch and rip the boards down to size. Next up, I sanded the boards so I can have a nice smooth surface to work with. I got these dog bowls from Home Goods the other day and I really like them because not only are they sturdy, they also have a lip, which is what's needed in order to put the dog bowl in the actual stand. At this point, I wanted to use the cardboard that came with the dog bowls, so I went ahead and measured everything, and you're gonna see in a little bit that this was not a good idea. I cut the legs down to size and I cut the sides down to size as well. And when I was ready to dry fit everything, guys, I noticed it did not fit because it was just way too small. And thank God I checked everything at this point because I went ahead and I cut another piece off camera and I found the correct measurements. So this is what it's really supposed to look like. I cut all my pieces down to size, which I'll have in the blog post link down below for you guys. And for the legs, I made sure to drill some pocket holes at the top and bottom. I used my clamp to clamp down the sides that I'm going to be screwing together, and I secured it in place with my pocket hole screws. I repeated the same process for the other side. I also want to note here that I made sure the pocket holes were facing the same direction when I was assembling this whole thing. When I was done, I had two legs that looked like this. At this point, I went in with my nail gun to try and secure the side of the legs, but for some reason it wasn't working, so I opted to drill pocket holes to the side pieces as well. I assembled the entire bowl and I decided to check to make sure everything fit nice and snug, and it didn't. This is why you get plans and you do the plans and not try to do it off of memory. I literally attached it wrong. So the dog bowl doesn't fit. I needed a little break, so I came back to the project later that night and I made sure my nail gun was working nice, and I went ahead and assembled the sides with the nail gun. This was the moment of truth to see if the dog bowls fit, and thank goodness it did. Now I just have to figure out this little piece right here, and while I'm figuring that out, let's take a break and listen to a word from our sponsor. As you guys can see, Ted has gained quite a bit of weight, so when Ali reached out to me and I read what they were about, I was thrilled to partner with a brand that would help improve his overall health. If you don't know what Ali is, it's a dog food company who tailors meals for your best friend based on their weight, their allergies, and activity levels. When you sign up on their website, there is actually a series of questions they ask you about your pup so they can come up with a meal plan based on their pet profile. You can see Ted's meal plan here based on the information that I added. What's also really nice is that you can opt to have a diet with either all Ali or just some of Ali, so it's not an all or nothing. What I love most about Ali is that they use actual human grade food, which you can totally see in the food itself. It's not fake meat or fillers like wheat and soy, and they're completely transparent with the ingredients on their website. We opted to use the beef recipe, which I felt would be an easy transition for Ted since the kibble he was eating before was beef flavored. Ali delivered the food right to our door in about 2 days, and the food was kept frozen solid. The box came with food, a container, and a scoop so I can store his food in the refrigerator. The food that he's not using is actually stored in the freezer, so make sure you have enough freezer space because this is what 2 months of food looks like for Ted. Yep, that's a lot. I've seen quite a difference in the month that we've been using Ali. Teddy's energy level is definitely up, his teeth look great, and his coat is nice and shiny. The vet actually noticed a difference too when we went for his checkup. If you're interested in trying Ali for your BFF, click the link in the description box down below so you can receive 50% off your first offer. Now back to the DIY. The next day I cut the ends off of each of the corners because I honestly did not like the way it came out. I thought it was so bulky and ugly, and I wanted the overall design to be smooth and not so abrasive. I used some scrap wood for the middle piece, but I still wasn't happy with the design, so I played with some more scrap wood to see what I can come up with to make this dog bowl look a lot nicer. I opted to bevel cut a piece of scrap wood and then I cut a 90-degree angle, so I had these cool little triangles that I can add to the side of the pet bowl to make the edges a little bit more smooth. I went ahead and glued it down and secured it with a brad nail and repeated that for all 4 corners. I also measured the center and I put the bowls inside so I know I was putting it in correctly, and then I nailed the front and back of that centerpiece to hold it in place. After I was done, I sanded everything down, and when I finished, I filled the holes. I would normally use wood filler, but I ran out, and since I was going to paint this anyways, I figured I could just get away with using paintable caulk. And it actually works really nicely. While the caulk was drying, I sanded the design for the front, and after that was done, I pre-stained it off camera. After I was done, I painted the entire stand black. As the paint was drying, I stained the front pieces this golden color, and I made sure the front piece was in line at the top, and I nailed it into place at the top and the bottom. I flipped the stand upside down and I put a generous amount of glue on the corners of the decorative pieces, and then I held it in place for a bit until the glue began to dry. And that's it, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm really happy how it came out. Like Bob Ross said, it's so cheesy, but it's so true. This was not a mistake. It was a happy accident, and I'm really happy I didn't end up scrapping this design because it's just beautiful. Thank you to Ali for sponsoring this video. I encourage you guys to click on the link in the description box to check them out. I'm sure you're gonna love it, and I'm sure your dog is gonna love it too. And thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.